Welcome to all the classic car enthusiasts. Okay, so just give you a bit of an update what's going on. I did the video the other day showing that I can't get the registration on the on our Mini, the beige and black one. My wife calls it the Chanel Mini because I think that it's kind of like Chanel colours or something, I don't know. She picked them anyway. And we're not going to be able to get it registered until I get back from the UK because there's a waiting time with the government and so on and so forth. Anyway, but I will be bringing it to the UK. I was so annoyed, I thought, sod it, I'll just bring the, I won't bother. But I would like people to have a look at it, and I think there's a few people who would like to see it, and I'd like to see what they think of the work anyway. Yeah, and I'll put it in, maybe put it in the show and shine or something. I hate washing cars, but maybe I'll do that. Yeah, and so that was a bit of a disappointment, a bit of a letdown. Yesterday we took my E-Type, my 66 E-Type Roadster Series 1 for an MOT, and everything seemed to be okay in it, so we didn't really give it a quick check over because everything seemed good. And unfortunately it failed the test. It's called a pickle here, the MOT basically. And because the garage that normally do it, for some reason I wasn't aware of this, but the garage that normally do it have got some problem with their CO2 emission tester, and they sent it to somewhere else that had never seen the car before. And but anyway, you know, a fail's a fail. And what they've basically failed it on is I need to change the brake and clutch fluid. They're trying to translate it into English for me, kindly, because obviously my German is so schlecht. When I'm here and people speak to me, I just say, "Ich bin ein Engländer, mein Deutsch ist so schlecht," and I kind of get away with it because, oh, well, okay, we can speak English. Anyway, it says the brake fluid is under 150 degrees, and what they do here is they take a sample out of the brake and the clutch fluid and they put it into this machine, which I guess heats it, and it shows if there's any water content in it or it steams or whatever. So I need to change it for .51. And the windscreen washer wasn't functioning. I thought perhaps we hadn't topped it up, because in a convertible, especially an E-Type, the windscreen has got quite a rake on it and it's quite small. If I sit upright, my head goes over the top of the screen. Anyway, bottom line is I've never used it, to be honest. I've always cleaned the windscreen, and I thought maybe it was just water, there was no water in it, but it turns out there is water in it. But the motor is not working, or when you switch it on the panel, and I think that's because it's fused or something, so I'll check that out tomorrow. And a couple of other bits and pieces. They were talking about a little bit of engine oil leak, but you know, this is an E-Type XK Jaguar engine, and trying to find one that's as dry as a bone is as rare as finding rocking horse shit. You know, Jaguars just leak. Jaguars are minis, but you know, they are what they are. Anyway, so that's the bad news. The other bit of bad news is we got the tent out, we unpacked it, and it's a little wider than we were expecting. And so we've had to make some new plinths for the legs to sit on. There's 7 legs, so we've had to make 5 plinths. So 2 are already in, the other 3 or 4 will be done tomorrow. And then we can, part of the frame is up, a small part of the frame is up, and then we'll get it all set up, and then we'll pull the cover back onto it, probably at the weekend, sometime at the weekend. So I'll do a video of that when we've constructed it, and I'll do it in time lapse, and also when we're pulling the cover over it as well. But you don't want to see building or those plinths being built for the legs on it, but you'll see what we're up to anyway. And also in the video, Paul Jeffries, he's the guy who's building this race engine for me, hill climb and track day car engine, and he was over at MED picking up some bits and pieces, so there's a bit of footage from Paul as well, which I thank him for very much. And that's about it. So I won't do an outro, so as usual, stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby, and don't forget, at the end of the month is the $600 giveaway for P&L mini voucher from all the YouTube guys have got together, and P&L, and this is anybody can win it anywhere in the world. Obviously, if you buy €600 or $600 worth of stuff and you live in Guatemala or New Zealand, it's up to you to ship it. If you want to use that, some of your shipping costs, that's up to you.
I'll put this on.
2 or 3 people.
Yeah, I'm going to put this on YouTube. Right, guys. So this is the tent. This is a slightly bigger version of what I've got on the back of the trailer, which I'll show you in a second. But you can see they're very well done. I mean, really good industrial size. The only difference with ours is it's got a double door like this one, but it goes up on a piece of metal. You know, like concertinas, and it's got a winch in each corner. But this is exactly how it's going to look. And they've used it. Sorry, I'm in your way. So they're using this now for storage of overflow of stuff, and but you can see it's a nice. The quality of the material looks good. Apparently, this is guaranteed for 5, and the steel for 10 years. And there it is. There it is now. So I'm going to take this back now. Montacom is the name of the company. So I'm going to drive back down to Vienna now. So you can see how it looks. This one is slightly bigger. This one is, I believe, is 15 meters long. This is the one I've got is 10. This one's 15 by 6 meters wide, so it's much bigger than I really need. It looks good quality. It's been up for about 18 months, I think, that one. So it's a nice size. And there's for the XK guy, for Jaguar guys, there's the XK 150 body. They've had a company up here repair the bonnet, which I couldn't do because it was aluminium. I hadn't got TIG weld, and they repaired. This was split right across here, and they made a pretty good job. But because the bonnet was damaged because it had a Mark II grill on it. That's a brand new XK 150, been handmade by somebody in the UK. I bought it through a dealership, but it was handmade. And the guy, the reason I've come up here today, well, mainly to pick up this tent on my trailer, but to have a look at the car, because the guy that was going to do the finishing work and the paint work is saying there's quite a few things wrong. And now I look at it with the bonnet on it, I see exactly what he's talking about. If you look, that wing has been replaced, and we saw that at the time when we first got the car. You can tell from the spot welds, this wing is absolutely original. We replaced, as you know, we replaced these lights and things, but that wing was the original wing that was on it when they got it. And what's happened is it's been put on wrongly, and I can see it now. If you look at the gap there, and the gap there, you can see here, you can see this is much, much smaller. And what it's done, what's happened is they've replaced the wing, and when they've done the centerpiece, I'll open this up if I can and show you. When they've done the centerpiece, you can see that they welded that together, so that mouth is not right. If you buy that section in there now, you buy it as one piece, but it was split in the original cars in '58, but it was brazed. But I think that needs to be split open and this whole thing released out to the left. And consequently, they're looking for about 20,000 to do all the repairs and paint it, and 20,000 euro that is. That's about what, 19.5 grand or so, 19 grand, whatever. There's me and Refka working on the. This is how the frame's going to be here. You can see it's actually almost right on the edge there. And you can see there's an overhang, so we're going to build 5 support columns. He's building the first one there, and then he'll put the other 4 in, and then we'll backfill it once the frame's up. Because unfortunately, the guy who got it for me, I asked him to make it. The original was 5 meters by 10 with an English company. There was some issue with it, delivering it, whatever, I don't know. Then he went to a company in Czechia, I guess because it was cheaper. Or, I don't know why he did, but anyway, then he got another one that was 10 meters long by 6 meters, and it wouldn't fit after we unpacked it and put it away, as you know if you know the saga. And now this one's turned up, and instead of being 5.5, it's 5.6 meters wide, so it's just over that edge, as you can see. So we have to make new pillars. That's the only way we can put it up.
Hello everybody, just arrived at MAD and I'm just about to go in and pick up a flywheel and roller drop gear set for Dave Jaguar. Okay, right, we're inside MED now. I'm here with Stephen Colburn, and he's going to basically just do us a quick run through of the stage 2 pre-Verto flywheel setup for Dave Jag's engine build. There you go, Steve.
Great. Okay, so stage 2 is EN8 steel. This is an inertia type, so if you see, it's got a little leading edge there for the starter to come back into. It's one of the new orange diaphragms, so these are Borg and Beck now rather than AP, so they're a nice quality pressing. We're finding towards the end of the AP runs they were going a little bit out of balance and taking a lot more to balance up, so these are pretty nice. So this is kind of fast road track day spec, got steel backplate engraved with MED at the top, and we use a AP Racing bonded and riveted clutch plate, so good to 120 horsepower.
Okay, cool, brilliant. And now we're also getting some roller drop gears.
Drop gears as well you've got going on, yeah. Are these your pistons?
Yeah, I'm exchanging those for the flat tops.
Okay, cool. So, if you might want to zoom in on these. Cut my face off. You don't want my face in it, do you? So, we do a huge amount of variety of ratios and types. Should we run through them individually and what we've got?
Yeah, can do.
So drop gear set, you get 3 gears. You get the primary gear, goes on the crankshaft. So we do 2 different bush sizes, one for the 998, one for the 1275. We do a 23 tooth and a 24 tooth. This one would be a 24
Yep.
tooth. You can play around with the ratio, so if you don't want to change the final drive ratio in your race car, you can just potentially swap the primary gear only, and that will effectively change the final drive without taking it out. And then you've got the input, which is at the bottom, so this one goes on the gearbox. And that one is a 24, so that's what we mean 1-to-1, so they're the same number of teeth. If you have a 23 tooth input or a 23 tooth primary gear, you can play around with that ratio between the two. So straight cut. These are wider than previous designs in the tooth profile, so very strong, very high quality material, and made in our machine shop in Leicestershire. So all designed here and made locally, so top quality. And this is the roller bearing idler, which, as the name suggests, comes with a roller bearing, so there's no more need to keep changing the idler gear bearings, and there's no need to shim this side to side either, because it's a complete assembly in there, so all the free plate is taken up in that spindle assembly.
Cool.
The best you can get, really.
Brilliant. Lovely. Well, thanks for that explanation, Stephen.
No worries.
And we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks very much.
Alright.
Cheers. Bye-bye.